Otto could not believe it. Just look at his face, the whole conversation. Just, this really is the dumbest son of a bitch. So the episode begins with them turning the kingdom upside down. There's one upheaval now, right? Because now the boy done been beheaded. So now they turning the place upside down. They rushing people along, and I like that. I like that. Have some urgency on your ass. I really didn't appreciate how last episode the High Towers was acting like shit sweet. Shit ain't sweet now, right? And Allison is boo-hooing, right? She's stressed out. And she ain't even just stressed out. She ain't even just stressed out that poor Helena is traumatized right now, as her child, which she is concerned about. But what she really stressed about is she was busy riding dick while her grandson was murdered, and now she think the God's punishing her for sinning. And I like that, bitch. I like that. When we see Aegon is freaking out, breaking up the place because his son's been killed. And let me just say this. He is breaking up that big thing Viserys was always working on. And boy, the way I didn't appreciate that. I'm like, damn, your daddy was building them little figurines till his dying breath, and you just come in and tear up the place, man. No appreciation for shit, man. But my boy is freaking out, right? Aegon is freaking out. He's like, war, get that bitch Rhaenyra. Whoa, calling Rhaenyra all kind of names, right? He's like, killer, I declare war. And you know what? That's exactly why you down a son now, because you need to get your head in the game. What you mean I declare war? Y'all been at war. That was a response attack. What are you talking about? So anyway, he's like, oh, let's go to war. And all his people are trying to advise him like, hey, let's not be too hasty. Let's check. You have multiple enemies. And he's like, listen, I don't give a and Otto's like, let's be real. It really don't matter because we are going to say it's Rhaenyra. Otto, let me tell you, wicked as Otto is, that's a smart man. And he was smart all episode. Otto was making sense all episode. Otto immediately goes, listen, you know how much goodwill this will buy us if the people know Rhaenyra behead your son? Parade that little headless boy through the city? Have Allison and Helena behind there crying? Ooh, people gonna love you. Excellent plan. Excellent plan. And even though Aegon is freaking himself out, he is asking the right questions because he turns to Sir Criston bitch ass Cole and he's like, by the way, where the were you, Lord Commander, my King's God? And this Sir Criston Cole talking about he was in bed. Yeah, okay, you was in bed all right. You was in anyway. Anyway, listen. Sir Criston Cole, we can get back to it. But that man was in rare form this episode on shit. Like, listen, my blood pressure rising just thinking about it, son. And they go to poor Helena and to tell Helena that she needs to go be a spectacle for the city, right? That the city need to see her mourn in order to buy goodwill for them. And Helena's like, I don't know them peasants. Like, what the Helena's like, oh, want me to go ride through the street with the beggars while I try to mourn my son? Like, what the But as usual, no one gives a about what Helena wants. So that's what they make her do. But of course, this plan is successful, right? Everybody is like, Rhaenyra is a cold fucking blooded bastard. They're like, this gal be heading babies? Oh my, imagine, right? Like, imagine you the poor townsfolk and they be like, you have to choose between two people to be a leader and one of them be heading babies. You'd be like, perhaps I'll go with that other perhaps. So that works, right? So anyway, Larys and you know what? You know, this episode, this recap, I'm gonna find myself an unlikely supporter of Team Otto and Team Larys for different reasons, okay? But Larys gets the drop on the guys. He immediately figures out who killed Jaehaerys, right? Because these idiots got caught running out of the kingdom. Let's talk about this. Because last episode when Daemon went to the rat catcher and this guy, I was like, originally, my original thought was, you mean to tell me that's who you trust in this big ploy with? Like, you need to murder Aemon Targaryen and you going to, like, think about it. His original plan was to have them murder Aemon. In what world would they have got the drop on Aemon? The rat catcher who kicking the dog, these bumbling buffoons. Child, listen. And so that was my thought or whatever last episode, and then immediately they became the most like lethal traumatizing duo idiots I ever seen because they murked that little baby, man. But here's what really blew me. Larys immediately gets old boy, the one who beheaded the baby, the one who was he was a member of the King's Guard. I think he was a member himself of the King's Guard, right? They get him, they capture him, and this man folded immediately. Like, yeah, I figured the way that man was so like ruthless about beheading that child, like he was sinister. He didn't give a about it. He's like, I bleed the lot of you. Like, to behead a sleeping child. I figure you a cold who ready for, I expected him to be up there acting like the Narcos, like, what a quiet, tight lip. This man singing like a canary. Immediately he's like, Damon Targaryen hired me. Damon Targaryen hired me to do it. He gave me half the money. He's giving me half the offer. He got caught running out of the kingdom with the head in a bag. And that's another thing. You need to make an escape, and you taking the head. You could take the head. You get like singing like a canary, right? Immediately. And then he can say to them, are you going to hurt me? Be so for real. Like, say no, man. Y'all ain't think this through, because ain't no way they have this man up here acting like a bitch like this, acting crazy, like he don't know he about to get lead like a pig. What are you talking about? What do you behead the people cheering? You and it ain't like, it's not like he's a common folk who don't know no better, who don't have no sense. He is one of them. And he's a ruthless murderer, the kind of ruthless murderer that works for the crown that would behead a child. So what do you mean, are they going to hurt you? They gonna murk you. I say this, and listen, ain't gonna come in there and that man up. Like, oh, you think you can kill my baby? He gone in there like, come here, batter up here. Anyways, poor Helena when they were parading her through the street, because I'm sure it's just like Helena's already a little off. The trauma of just seeing your son murdered, you want to be by yourself and people have you surrounded by strangers. But the way she was looking at them like, oh my God, oh Lordy, oh. Like, Helena was looking like, oh my God, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Like, that's how Helena was like, please don't let the bums touch me. Like, oh my God, his hand dirty. Like, that's how Helena was giving it up. But I understand. My poor baby girl is traumatized. I could give Helena, I will always give Helena the benefit of the doubt, man. Not too much on Helena. Back at Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is getting word that Jacaerys was killed and that people are saying that she did it. And she's like, what? How they get to think that? What would make them think that? I would never do that. Blah blah blah. She all and the people in her court are like, we thought you could do that. I mean, you know. And Rhaenyra's like, what the f you mean? I would never do something like that. You think I would have a child executed? What? She going back and forth with them, and it's so crazy because I don't know how my girl's first thought wasn't Damon do that. I'm like, she should immediately look at Damon. I'm like, let me remind you, Rhaenyra, let's run it back. You're married to a psychopath, a murderous psychopath. And the one word you told that murderous psychopath, you put the battery in his back. You can't control him. Daemon Targaryen is just like the dragons, okay? You think you control them, but you don't really control them, all right? And Rhaenyra is constantly realizing that, because remember, Daemon yoked her up last season finale, all right? And he could jump out on her like a badass cat. A badass cat like my badass cat Asada, who is currently incarcerated in the bathroom for attacking people all weekend. But you can't control them. You can't control them, right? So I don't know. She should have realized immediately. She put the battery in Daemon back when she said, I want Aemon Targaryen, and let him loose. You know your husband do that. You think your husband is above Merkin, Sharon? Girl, be so for real. Be so for real. So, but Rhaenys, oh, listen, I will never get tired of telling you all, Rhaenys is the best character in the show. Rhaenys immediately, this Rhaenys looking at Daemon. And Daemon looking at her like, and she looking at him like, and it take Rhaenyra a little while of going back and forth before she finally look at him and say, she look at him and she's like, it's this. So then Rhaenyra and Daemon go and have this big ass argument, and we really have to break this argument down. Rhaenyra is like, what did you do? What instructions did you give to go and kill a child on my behalf? Daemon is like, listen, I didn't tell them to go kill a child. I told them specifically to go kill Aemon Targaryen. I cannot be held responsible. He was like, I told them specifically to kill Aemon Targaryen. I cannot be held responsible for what they do. And she's like, you cannot be held responsible. Y'all beheaded a child in my name. You have threatened my claim to the throne. Ain't nobody gonna want no gal who's be cutting off baby's head to be the queen, dummy. Like, that's not helpful to me. Why are you trying to undermine me, right? He's like, listen, I don't know why you running on with me. I said I only told them to kill Aemon. That's what you told me to do. And Rhaenyra's like, you a liar. You told them if they couldn't find Aemon, kill whoever the right? Anybody will do. And he's like, no. And she's like, I don't believe you. And you know what, sis? You shouldn't. You know your wicked ass husband. That's exactly what he tell them. They was like, oh, if we don't find Aemon, what we could do? Daemon was like, Aemon was like, like, oh, kill anybody? Oh, we should we just kill? What should we do if we don't find Aemon? He just Renee's like, listen, I guess we finally get to the point. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I actually have never trusted you. She's like, when I was a child, my foolish self really thought, like, took it as a challenge, but I realized, you really are a wicked I can't trust. And you know what? My daddy couldn't trust you either. My daddy was right about you. And Damon and her basically get into it, right? Because Damon is like, your daddy was afraid of me. Your daddy was afraid of living in my shadow. He know he was a weak leader. The real reason he named you heir was just to take something from me, is because he was threatened by me and he knew he wouldn't be in your shadow. Let me tell you something. The minute if I'm Rhaenyra and I hear that, oh sir, you could get the right? And Rhaenyra's like, see, this is it here. Like, you ain't doing things for me. Like, are you prepared to recognize that it's my throne, it's my claim? I am your queen. You supposed to respond to my command. Like, and she's like, I can't trust you. And he's like, what are you talking about? I do everything for you. I'm loyal to you. I do all this. This is the next thing. I'm literally getting out to go and try and raise you an army and do all of this. And Rhaenyra's like, listen, all that's a bunch of bullshit, okay? Having Damon as your husband is the epitome of having a dangerous creature on you that you think you could tame. And I say that, and I want y'all to know that is in fact a subtweet at Asada. But anyhow, it is facts, because she says to him, she's like, listen, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. I never could trust you. You just use me as an opportunity to grasp it, which you think was stolen from you, which is the throne. I'm just a vehicle for you to get to the throne. And when she says that, immediately tossed the thing off the table. He jumped out on her, and listen, her heart dropped in her shoe. She was scared. And that's the thing about Damon. He just like them damn dragons. You think like you have this asset, something to sick on other people, but you never could be sure it don't sick on you. And listen, she basically throughout this conversation, she's like, you know what? You are an untrustworthy monster. Like a monster who could kill up a child. And it's like, yes. Why, yes. Yes, he is, Rhaenyra. Okay, you done, bunny? Now, that being said, even though this whole conversation, Rhaenyra is spitting, everything she's saying about Daemon is true. Everything she's saying about Daemon is true. Everything she's saying about Viserys' take on Daemon is true. Everything she's saying about Daemon's real intentions and how much Daemon really wants the throne, the fact that Daemon doesn't seek to answer to her rule, all that is true. And everything that's coming out of Daemon's mouth is confirming that Daemon sees himself as a superior leader. He thinks that she doesn't have what it takes. He thinks that she is Viserys. She's weak like Viserys. Now, here's the thing. While all that may be true, Rhaenyra, not now. Daemon has been a monster, okay? He's been a monster since day one, all right? Like, you need that monster to address his attentions to your enemy. Like, I really don't have time for you to feel bad. All this, yeah, like, you are giving it up a little bit like Viserys. Like, and I understand trying to be shrewd and avoid war, but you're already at war. They already murked your son, so let's, hey, pull up your panties, bitch. They didn't give a when your son died. So what you, I wouldn't murder a child, an innocent. I'm like, girl, you pussyfooting around. You are pussyfooting around. You worried about your Harris? You need to be trying to figure out how to kill the rest of them. Kill all of them. Okay, so I found myself one day. Listen, I was the unlikely ally of lots of characters I don't like today. Like on this episode, I'm for Daemon this episode. I'm for Larys this episode, and I'm for Otto this episode, and I will tell you all the reasons why. But as always, it's Kristen Cole, okay? It's Kristen Cole, and it's her Alice. It's her Allison. So after they have that argument, Daemon leaves off on his dragon to go do what the he's supposed to do, and we don't see him for the rest of the episode. And then back at the palace, even though Aegon doing all that carrying on, he's so upset about the fact that his kid was murdered, just like Helena is very upset about the fact that her kid was murdered because it's their kid. Aegon could not even be bothered with Helena. Literally, as he's walking, they show a scene, Helena is walking through the castle and Aegon is walking, and he don't even acknowledge her, walks right past her. And that's the problem with making your kids marry each other. Like, they're forced to be married and be king and queen and have children together, but it's weird. Like, Aegon doesn't, and it's crazy because on one hand, like, I understand Aegon having this weirdness of like, you're my sister. Like, this is a weird sexual relationship to have. This is a weird, like, interpersonal relationship to have. And so it seems like he just like kind of avoids it. Like, they did the duty of having the kids, but he avoids her. He finds her uncomfortable. He can't really mourn with her. And I would be a lot more sympathetic to that if Aegon wasn't a rapist. Aegon is a rapist. Like, never forget, okay? The actor is doing his big one with this character this season. He really acting, and he's be giving Aegon a lot of comedy. Like, Aegon be a little funny. He giving energy, and so you almost forget he's a rapist. Almost. All most. Aegon is a goddamn rapist weirdo, and not for nothing. I remember last season that Aegon had a bunch of little children he had around the Red Keep that, like, I remember at one point the kids being in like a fighting ring or something. I know I didn't make that up. Them kids, they had them like in a coop. Little Targaryen haired babies that were his babies, like being forced to fight each other like pit bulls. So he could spare me. Okay, I don't actually give a about you losing Jairus, because I don't believe you give a about Jairus on an emotional level, because even when he was screaming about it, he was like, that's my legacy, that's my heir. And I believe like maybe on some level he cares, because when Otto first suggested they need to have the baby's body like, you know, gone through the street, like through the street, so that the people could see what Rhaenyra did, he's like, I do not want to have my little baby boy's like body out there like that. And again, I'd have a lot more compassion if I don't remember him not giving a about all his bastard babies he has literally fighting like pit bulls somewhere in the Red Keep. So I mean, it's still him. It's always gonna be him. Now remember, I told y'all this whole episode, Allison is just somewhere like, oh my God, I'm a hoe. God punishing me. God punishing me. Like this, the whole episode, all you see is her worried, right? Like worried, trying to cover her tracks. So Kristen Cole is standing guard outside her bedroom, and she's like, hey, right quick. You f***ing tell anybody? And he was like, do you think I'm the kind of person that would tell somebody? And she's like, well, yes. Well, yes. You snitch ass bitch. Like, I remember you snitching on Rhaenyra. So shit, but you know, she ain't gonna say it, and she ain't gonna say it like that to him, right? Because that's her little sugar pie, sweetie plum. So she say, I believe that you're someone who would look for absolution. Because you remember that was him. Oh, it was me. I Rhaenyra, oh Lord God, forgive me. Oh, my honor, my duty, you know? And then he was all in the garden ready to offer himself. So for absolution is code for, yes, you snitch, bitch. So then he was like, there's no absolution for what I've done. And let me tell you, I really hate Sir Kristen Cole and this fake pious shit he be doing. Like he be acting like he believes this is some unforgivable sin. Why you always f***ing then? Like it's this, oh my honor, oh, you've done it multiple times at the highest. Like, think about it. If there's a league for people who f on the job, right? Let's think about it, right? If on the job, all the people he could f on the job, he has the queen mother and the queen. You know what I mean? Like Rhaenyra's the queen, or when she was a princess, he the princess, the heir to the throne, and now the queen. He is literally at the highest competitor league for on the job. You're an Olympic level on the job. So why are you still doing this whole little routine of like, oh, acting like he feels so bad about it? No, you don't. Listen, I hope they do Sir Kristen Cole like they did Grey Worm 3, not Grey Worm, like they did Beyond Greyjoy and Game of Thrones. Take his dick. Take it from him. Take it from him. He don't want to use it so bad. All this hemming and hawing all the time. If you don't want it that bad, give it up. Take it from. I hope they take it from him. That way you don't have to go through all this moral dilemma no more. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to fall to sin no more. Don't let sin defeat you no more. So Kristen Cole, just get him your dick. Sick of his ass, man. All this fake shit. He don't give a Then here's what really blows me. So we just acknowledge multiple times for the episode we didn't have it in explicit blood that you must know and feel guilty. But the fact that while that little boy was getting carved up, the reason that was supposed to, also, let's pause the track. Let's talk about the security. Let's talk about the security in the palace in this episode. Let's talk about the police, because this is really a prime example of the fact that the police don't do shit. Why is it that two bumbling buffoons like name Blood and Cheese? That's what they name, Blood and Cheese. Two Joneses from the alley. Damon went in the alley to go get a drunken rat catcher. That's the kind of Joneser that could just break into the castle. Waltz by all the security. Just what the police good for? This whole episode, because at the end of the episode, we could talk about what happened there in the episode. When we talk about what happens to Rhaenyra, is another perfect example of the fact that what they paying for the King's Guard for? What they paying for security for? Ain't no Lord, the police ain't good for nothing. Oh, you notice all that happens in. They were able to just go murder heirs to the throne, just go murk them, no problem, walk right into the kingdom, go try kill the queen, do all these different things, no problem. And what happens after? After the crimes have already committed, then here they go, oh, get the King's Guard, let's do this. You see what I'm saying? That's what the police do. Anyway, child, I'm gonna come off this rant. We have multiple times now, it has already been confirmed in the episode that Sir Kristen Cole and Allison recognized that little boy got killed because they was busy when they ain't supposed to be doing it, not doing their mother job. This man slept on the job or slept with you on the damn job. And do you know what Sir Kristen Cole does after he does this little pious act, or he feels so bad there's no absolution? This man goes with Sir Eric. So they're twins, right? They're just these twins, Sir Eric and Sir Eric. So both of them were on the King's Guard, like pledged obviously to the Targaryen, to the throne. But then once Viserys died and they split off, like either Rhaenyra and them or the Hightowers, Sir Eric went with Rhaenyra and them, and Sir Eric stayed, like, and so splitting them up. They had been in the King's Guard. They're twins. They've been in the King's Guard since they was little boys. They love each other, and this was a real serious divide. So Sir Eric is still there. Sir Kristen Cole goes up to Sir Eric, who this man just trying to eat his lunch. Why your cloak dirty? He's like, no, nigga, because of the mud from yesterday. Like, what you mean? I trying to eat. He's like, you don't take this job seriously? And he's like, sir, I literally only just now getting 5 minutes to eat. If we could please do this later, I would like to eat my lunch. And this when my blood pressure started rising like this, I started sitting up in the chair. So Kristen Cole could start being like, oh, do you not take this seriously? The cloak is a symbol of our purity, our commitment, our fidelity. I say this really is one wicked son of a bitch. Like you ain't shame, you not embarrassed. Like I can't even imagine being a hypocrite, like knowing it's me. Like he literally just describing himself, literally just lashing out on Eric. I'm like, somebody who gives a enough about Sir Kristen Cole, who's not me, could probably study the psychology there on like what's happening, like what, like does he think like he's punishing this guy outwardly for like how he should be punished? I don't know. Are you not taking this seriously? Blah 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 blah. Start screaming at the guy. The guy's like, oh my god. All right, relax. Fuck my lunch. I'll go change the cloak. Let me go change the cloak. When he goes to go change the cloak, Sir Kristen Cole, clearly intent on having a fight with him, still starts running on. And he was like, we can't trust you. Your brother is a traitor to the crown. The minute he said that, the rest of the sitting there eating their food are like, let me get my bag here. Let me go. All right. What the And the guy's like, are you questioning my loyalty? I literally separated from my twin brother, who I love to death, in order to stay here and serve the crown. Like, what are you talking about? And Sir Kristen Cole is like, you know, we can't trust you. Where were you? Where were you when Jaehaerys was getting murdered? And Eric said, where were you? Where were you when Jaehaerys was getting murdered? I was with King Aegon. Where were you? And Sir Kristen Cole and me like turns up, accusing him of exactly what the Sir Kristen knows his bitch ass is guilty of. I said, oh my God, this man is and then he then tells Eric, I want you to go to Dragonstone and kill Rhaenyra. Kill her in the hallways, the same way they intended to kill Aemond in the way that they killed Jaehaerys. And this, let me tell you, this man is making me so mad. This is why I truly think they should have hung, Sir Kristen should have been hung when he killed Laenor's boo at that wedding. Like that shit should have never been allowed. And only because Alicent want to have the cape on, fam, because she wanted someone to be able to hate on Rhaenyra with, he should have been killed for that. They should have let him kill himself, because what kind of like, he's at that point, like, what authority did he have? What authority did he have to go do that, to go murder this guy who is so close to the nigga supposed to be the king consort? And not killing him then is precisely why he's so big for his britches now, because what authority does he have? Think about this. They at war. Like, there's something where they have to be particularly tactical. Anything could set things off. The king's supposed to make it mad, and he just decides unilaterally to send Sir Eric off on a death mission to do something that can only blow shit out of proportion more. Like, why? What the Eric do to you? And Sir Eric is like, get me killed. You want me to go there alone? And he's like, yeah, pretend to be a twin. I don't even want to tell you the plan, because I need to tell you the plan. I mean, when they tell Otto, because when they tell Otto the plan, it's perfect. Otto is really in his TV bag. When we next see Rhaenys and Corlys, they laid up in bed together just talking about the situation. And the gist of it is Rhaenys is like, listen, Daemon is not interested in following Rhaenyra's lead. You know, watch that man. He could be a problem. Daemon's old whore is in this episode again too, but Massaria, but we really don't care, okay? Rhaenyra's talking to her, and she's telling Rhaenyra the same thing she told Daemon last episode, and that's really about the gist of that. So then the next big thing we see is these women walking through the village, and all these men are hung, because Aegon ass done went and hung all the rat catchers because they had caught blood, right? I told you they caught blood early in the episode. I don't know, blood and cheese. I think he's blood, and I think the other one is cheese, but who knows? They had caught the one that actually was a part of the king Aegon's god who turned on them and did the shit. Blood gave up that he had an accomplice, that his accomplice was one of the rat catchers, but he couldn't say for sure which one. So Aegon just decided to hang all the rat catchers in the city. And so their mothers, these mothers, wives, children see their just hanging for all to see. So they're weeping, all of this. Otto is like, I know you lying. Otto was like, I just went to all this trouble to buy you the goodwill of parading your headless son through the city, and this is what you do? You could go murder their and have them. Otto was like, well, Jesus Christ, like, listen, this whole conversation when Otto rolls up in there to curse Aegon out, this is just this whole thing is perfection. I love it so much. Otto could not believe it. Just look at his face, the whole conversation, just he listening to Aegon talk like, this really is the dumbest son of a bitch. Otto literally busts through the room like, what the like, what the fuck did you do? And Sir Kristen Cole is in there with Aegon, and he's like, mind how you talking to the king. Otto was like, the king is my grandson, and he's a goddamn fool, and I can tell that he's a fool. Don't you tell me to talk to my grandson. And Aegon is like, what is the matter? To what do I owe this attitude? Otto was like, the rat catchers, what the did you do? And Aegon was like, oh, I had them all killed. Blood told me he had an accomplice. It was one of the rat catchers, but I didn't know who it was, so I killed all of them. And Otto was like, you are the dumbest nigga alive. He was like, we just did all that. He's like, we literally made a sacrifice. You put Helena and Alicent and all us through the sacrifice of parading that boy body through the street in order for us to buy the goodwill. And just like that, for nothing, you ruined it. You have all these mothers and wives and daughters and people at the gates of the castle weeping and cursing your name. Are you serious? And Aegon is like, he's like, listen, I'd rather that than look weak. I'm tired of this. I want to do something. I want war. I want vengeance. And Otto's like, oh my God, you are not thinking straight. Stop being a idiot. Like, are you serious? Like, Otto is honestly just flabbergasted at the stupidity. He's like, not only are you a idiot who done murdered these men and these innocent men, but you gonna hang them in the city for their family to see you dumb mother. Like, he was like, don't you know how you be evil? You'll do it in the cover of darkness. Like, he said, you don't show them you wicked. And Aegon is like, listen here, I don't give a about none of that shit. Them peasants, okay? You think I give a about trying to curry favor with these broke ass? Okay, I want vengeance for all that. And Otto is like, what the are you talking about? Aegon starts like straight up ignoring him and being like, I want to act. He's like, Sir Kristen Cole has acted. And he's like, excuse me? What the Sir Kristen Cole done? And Aegon said, Sir Kristen Cole, Aegon said, Sir Kristen Cole sent Arik to Rhaenyra, to Dragonstone, to kill Rhaenyra. He's gonna pretend to be his twin brother. Isn't that great? Otto was like, oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no. When I tell you I had to pause and run it back to fucking cackle, because Otto was like, this the dumbest mother. Otto literally said, oh God, help us all. Oh my God. He was like, look at Twiddle. He literally was looking at him and Sir Kristen Cole like, look at Twiddledee and Twiddle dumb. Like, oh my God. And the more Aegon talked, Otto was like, you literally are just as stupid as your daddy said. Mother sick. Like, you ever like learn in real time, like, wow, I really was wrong. That was Otto looking at him like, wow, I did all this to get you on the throne and you really are a idiot. Wow, Viserys was right. My was like, take heed, like, act like you have sense. You know, your father wouldn't have done this. Viserys wouldn't have done this. Aegon is like, Viserys is dead, okay? And Otto's like, and we are all much worse off for it. God damn. I can't believe this shit. Like, you know how dumb you have to think a mother is for them to talk and you respond, God help us all? Otto said. And then Aegon takes it one step further, right? Because now he deep in his, like, this is when I would, like, if he was going to decide he didn't want Otto to be his hand anymore, at least make it Larys. At least make it Larys. Like, Larys is the one that at least went and found the people who killed your kid. He's the one that gives you advice outside of Otto. You know what I mean? So, but no, Aegon is so much stupider than that. Aegon is so much stupider than you can ever. I'm sorry, Asada is locked in the bathroom. Until she gets anxiety meds tomorrow, she's literally a threat to us, and I thought I heard her escape. My heart, listen, y'all just don't know. Anyway, Aegon not only fires Otto, tells Otto Give me a pin, you're not my hand no more. He makes Sir Kristen Cole the hand. Team Green is in shambles. 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 Like, I was like, wow. Wow. A goofy queen never made a good choice. Not never. And immediately after, you know what we see? Sir Kristen Cole's stupid ass ploy. His stupid ass plan blow up in flames. He sends Sir Eric in there to his death sentence. Sir Eric sees him, and the two of these twins get to fighting for their life, fighting each other, and they love each other, you know. Fighting to the death in order to protect Rhaenyra. Sir Eric, who is Rhaenyra's who is the twin that's on Rhaenyra's side, actually does get the drop on Sir Eric and is able to kill Sir Eric. But that's his twin brother who he loves to death, so he immediately kills himself. Like, I did my duty to protect Rhaenyra, so I killed my brother, but I cannot live with that. So he kills himself instantly.
I really miss my nigga. I really miss my nigga. White people, you can sing it too, just change that N to a W. Miss my wigger.
That's Sir Kristen Cole's big plan. A goddamn fool. Otto goes to go talk to Allison to tell her what happened. Like, this idiot, what the are we gonna do? This idiot has fired me. This is going to go terrible. He's like, Sir Kristen Cole is all he know how to do is go war and fight and aggressive. He has no long-term strategy. All he want to do is be in vengeance. This is going to tear apart everything. Otto's like, you know what? I can't even be here. Otto's like, I can't even watch this. I cannot even watch how bad this is going to go. I cannot watch this man up my plans. Let me take my ass back to where the high towers be and at least go try to talk to Aemon. I'm sorry. I am sorry, because why I ain't talk about Aemon? We gonna get to Aemon next. He says, at least Aemon will still listen to what I have to say. Let me go there. And Allison, because now Allison is riding Sir Kristen Cole's dick, so she don't have the proper amount of, she's like, yeah, Sir Kristen Cole can be a little like hasty, but he's good and loyal and all this foolishness. I tell you, these bitches just get a little bit of dick and lose all their mind, no sense, none to be found. Like, child. So she's like, listen, anyway, go back. Go back for a little while. Go tend to our high tower stuff. I will talk to Aegon. He's just a little upset now because his son just got beheaded. But give it a little bit of time. I'm sure he'll come back to his senses and you could come back and everything will be cool, child. Anyway, when we see Aemond is somewhere, and Aaron put it on the screen. Okay, you better blur it. I don't give a blur it. Aemond is literally laid up naked, curled up with this woman, just like the Shame Wizard from Big Mouth. If you ain't never seen the Shame Wizard, look at how the Shame Wizard did look. Aaron, go find the Shame Wizard naked. How they have him looking. That's exactly what put it side by side. Aemond and the Shame Wizard, because that's just what the he look like. He there. That's him. Hold on. Let me show y'all how he. That's how he in this woman lap, talking about he's such a fucking freak show. He laid up in this old woman lap who's clearly making a man out of him. Child, he's laid up with this old woman and he talking about, I am sad that Lucerys died. Like, I let my temper get the best of me that day. And that's, by the way, to all the people who be talking all that shit in the comments, like, oh, it's not Daemon's fault. It's not Aemon's fault. It's not Aemon's fault he died. It's Vhagar. It was Vhagar. He can't control Vhagar. You'll realize that they can't really control the dragons, blah, blah, blah. Their emotions motivate the fucking dragons. And it was because Aemon was on wicked shit that happened. And Aemon himself knows it, because you hear Aemon's like, listen, I let my temper get the best my temper get the best of me that day. If he didn't get like that, Vhagar wouldn't have tripped out and killed them. So it's his fault. And then he goes, they used to tease me when I was younger because I was different. Different how? Tease you when you were younger? Lucerys is a little boy. Lucerys is younger than him. That is his younger cousin, like a baby cousin. He used to tease you when you were young, and because you were different. Different how? You were literally royalty. You're Targaryen just like everybody else. Were you different? Like how? Lucerys and Jacaerys are the bastards that y'all kept calling bastards every chance y'all get. So how are you different? You mean because you were wicked? Because you are a wicked freak show? Even that you're not unique in. Aegon is a wicked freak show right there. Daemon is a wicked freak show in his own right too. Helena is a weirdo, a freak show, not a wicked one, but a freak show nonetheless. You're surrounded by a bunch of other weirdos. You weren't different. You weren't special. You just a regular Anyway, child, bitch made ass Aemon all in this woman lap like the shame was should be ashamed of his goddamn self is just what. Also, by the way, at some point in time in the episode, Jacaerys goes, they're talking strategy again, and Jacaerys recommends that Rhaenyra sends him on Dragon back to do something, and Rhaenyra immediately says no, and I'm just like, Jacaerys, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Do you remember the last time you suggested she send y'all on Dragon back? You came back without a brother. You remember that? You remember that, right? Like, act like you have some kind of know-how. He said that and I was like, this ain't thinking. This ain't thinking. He's so lucky that Rhaenyra is not an abusive toxic parent. If he had a real abusive toxic parent, they would have blamed him. They'd have been blaming him like, if I didn't listen to you. And clearly Rhaenyra needed to blame him because he out here still suggesting these shitty plans. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down, okay? Like, what the The last time y'all didn't respect the fact that y'all were at war, Lucerys came up dead, and now y'all just caused Jaehaerys to get beheaded. Don't you yet again think the block might be hot for her surviving son? Jacaerys, think, baby, think. But at least Rhaenyra was thinking, because Rhaenyra said no immediately, vetoed that shit. Now, before Otto leaves the palace, right, he's yet again having this conversation with Alicent. He's telling her how Aegon is a problem and how this is all gonna fall apart, right? And Alicent is like, no man, everything could be cool. But in the course of it, again, my girl is tormented and racked with sin. So she tells him, this is the second time now for the episode, she tries to tell Otto that she's sinned, right? So she tells him, I've sinned. And Otto goes, I do not wish to hear of it. And let's talk about that. Because, you know, it's funny to me how I feel like he knows exactly what the it is that Alicent has done, and he don't want to hear about it, right? But when he wanted to go, he couldn't wait season 1 to run his ass to Viserys Chambers to go tell Viserys that Rhaenyra's a hoe, because she was to Kristen going, what your daughter doing now? You don't want to hear about it. Now you don't wish to hear of it. Okay. So then Alicent leaves from there and she goes into Aegon's chambers and she sees Aegon weeping. And just like the asshole of she sees Aegon weeping. And do you think my girl stays there to go comfort her son? No. She there's a heel turn and goes back to her chamber to Sir Criston Cole. And listen, all the Alicent stands can be like, oh my God, she's tormented. She's racked with guilt. You know, she was beating on him before she did, you know, she just kind of fell into, girl, shut the up, okay? Shut the up. Spare me all this theatrics in this song and dance or Kristen Cole and Alicent be doing, okay? They know what the they doing. He was waiting on the bed. Listen. Listen, silliness. Absolute silliness. All in all, I really enjoyed this episode. I ran it back twice. Ain't nothing like Hightower suffering to just get the Sunday feeling good, get the week started off right. I cannot wait for the rest of the episodes this season, but I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. So Kristen Cole, y'all know it's really the same thing as it always is. Let's just get ready to see the Hightowers. Let's see Rhaenyra get it back in blood because they need theirs. They need their just due because Aegon has truly lost his mind. Making Sir Kristen Cole your hand. This man about to destroy the realm. He about to. Somebody. Lord, y'all, tell me your thoughts down in the comments, okay? Just tell me your thoughts.